Hey everyone, welcome back. We're going to be diving into AI search engines today.
Specifically SearchGPT,
Yeah, exactly. SearchGPT.
how it stacks up against Google and Bing.
Yeah. And I know a lot of you have already been looking into this, so hopefully this will be like a
Yeah.
really great deep dive for you guys.
Yeah, we've got a great source today
Yeah.
from Search Engine Journal
Yeah.
called SearchGPT versus Google versus Bing Search Results Review,
And it's written by Dan Taylor.
who is a technical SEO expert
Yes, and he spent 48 hours.
living with SearchGPT.
I love that.
Yeah, seeing how it compared with
Yeah.
Google and Bing.
Yeah, so he's comparing it across a bunch of different search types and
Queries
yeah.
and finding out how it does in different situations.
Exactly. And, some of the findings, I mean, they're pretty shocking.
Yeah, there were a few surprises in there.
Yeah, like we think of Bing as like this,
The little brother.
yeah, the little brother to Google.
Right.
But SearchGPT really depends on Bing's index.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
Websites that aren't indexed by Bing just won't show up on SearchGPT.
like if you haven't been paying attention to Bing,
You're missing out
you're going to be missing out. Yeah.
big time.
And like one of the things that blew my mind was that SearchGPT can cite pages that aren't even in Bing's top 100 results.
Yeah, and that was really interesting because it really highlights the difference between indexed and ranked.
Oh.
So, there's a difference between something being in the index and something being ranked.
Oh, right.
And so SearchGPT seems to have access to a much wider range of sources than the traditional search engines, even if those sources aren't ranked very high.
Okay, that's really interesting.
And so he looks at a bunch of different examples.
Yeah, he uses examples and he really breaks it down. He looks at first local search.
Yeah, local search is so important for so many businesses.
Huge for businesses, yeah.
And it looks like SearchGPT's local search game needs some work
Yeah.
still.
So, for example, he was looking for Enterprise Technical SEO Agency.
Right. And it gave him 3 results,
Mm.
2 of them near him,
Okay.
and then 1 randomly in the south of England.
Okay, so like not even on the same continent or anything.
And there's no real explanation for why it would pull up that result.
Oh, right.
And then it even went on to mislabel one of the results.
Yeah, what was the mislabeling?
It labeled one as a telecommunication service
Oh, wow.
when it wasn't at all.
So it's like making stuff up?
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
It's pulling information, but it's not quite getting it right.
Yeah.
And then he also searched digital marketing agency in New York and found that all the results on the SearchGPT map were from a single source,
Oh, wow.
which, isn't that helpful if you're trying to find a variety of options?
Yeah.
So it seems like it's maybe leaning a little too heavily
Yeah.
on certain sources
Okay, interesting.
for local results.
All right, so moving on, he looked at something called
YMYL searches,
YMYLs. What is?
which stands for your money or your life.
Oh, okay.
So search is related to things like health, finances,
Yeah.
safety, big important stuff.
Yeah.
Where getting accurate information is super important.
Yeah, for sure.
So he tried searches like remineralizing gum,
Okay.
how to lower cholesterol,
Mm-hmm.
who can sign a contract on behalf of a company.
Okay. Legal stuff.
Yeah. So he found that while SearchGPT generally stuck to pretty reliable sources for the health queries,
Okay.
things got a little bit shaky with the legal one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In what way?
Well, what's interesting is that the answers actually varied quite a bit
Oh.
between 2 searches he did,
Wow.
even though it was from the same account and the same IP address.
So it's giving different information.
Yeah, basically you could get different legal advice depending on when you ask.
That's a little scary.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
So that was kind of a concerning thing.
Okay, so after YMYL, he went on to look at e-commerce,
Yeah.
how SearchGPT handles e-commerce searches,
Right.
which is huge because online shopping is...
Yeah, it's like the biggest thing now.
Yeah.
And so he points out that it can't actually complete transactions for you,
Right.
but it can influence those early stages of shopping.
Yeah.
And he talks about the different types of users.
Oh, okay.
So he talks about shoppers who are browsing and researching,
Mm-hmm.
and purchasers who are ready to buy.
Okay.
So he says that AI can have a big impact on those shoppers,
Right.
but purchasers are still going to need to interact with brands and websites
Yeah.
to make the actual purchase.
Gotcha. So like...
So e-commerce businesses still need that strong online presence
Right.
for those people who are actually ready to buy.
Yeah, but it can really influence that early stage. Like, are you going to consider these types of products or these
Yeah.
brands or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
So one query he tried was best Christmas gifts for him, 2025.
Oh, wow. Way in the future.
Yeah, so this is really cool because SearchGPT only referenced pages published really recently.
Wow.
So it shows that it can stay really up to date
Okay.
with trends,
That's really
which
cool.
is really important for things like, Christmas gifts or
Yeah.
anything that's
Time sensitive.
time sensitive. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, but then he also searched for Black Friday deals,
Mm-hmm.
and SearchGPT included an Australian website in the results, even though he's based in the UK.
So again, it's like the location thing.
The location thing, it's
Sure.
not quite getting it right.
Not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Um, and then he did something super specific.
Yeah, he got really specific with Nike Air Max size 10 deals.
Uh-huh. And what happened there?
Well, get this. SearchGPT actually made up some of the prices.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was a little concerning.
Okay, so it's hallucinating.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Not ideal.
That could really mess up
Yeah,
people's shopping decisions
Okay.
if they're relying on SearchGPT.
exactly.
Okay, and then last but not least, he looked at travel,
Yes.
which he said is the most likely
To be disrupted.
to be disrupted by AI.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So he started with best holiday destinations 2025.
So, again, way in the future.
Yeah, and he got a really diverse list of suggestions,
Oh, okay.
which was really cool.
What kind of stuff?
He got a remote island in the South Atlantic,
Wow.
a city in Saudi Arabia.
Okay, so really different.
Yeah, so it's showing that it can kind of introduce people to places they might never have considered,
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
which is cool.
Yeah.
But then he also searched luxury hotels in Napa Valley,
Okay.
and the recommendations were just kind of random. Like, it didn't seem to understand what makes a hotel luxury.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it seems like it's still learning the nuances
Okay.
of things like that.
Gotcha.
And then he even found a dead link
Oh.
in the results when he searched for Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
So that's not good.
No, not ideal.
Okay, so after all of that testing,
Yeah, what's the verdict?
what is the verdict? Is SearchGPT the final search engine, as some people are saying?
Well, he thinks it has the potential to be really disruptive, but it's still a work in progress.
Okay, so it's not quite there yet.
Not quite there yet.
But it's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, he says it's particularly strong for those time-sensitive queries
Okay.
and informational searches,
Right.
but it needs to improve in areas like local search and e-commerce.
Right. Yeah, we saw that.
We saw that.
So it sounds like we need to rethink how we're doing SEO
Yeah, first.
if we want to be found in this new
In this new world.
AI-powered world.
Exactly.
So it sounds like we need to rethink how we're approaching SEO if we want to be found in this new world of AI search.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dan actually, he uses a really cool analogy to explain this shift.
Oh, okay.
He compares it to the arrival of the Model T car.
Okay.
So back then, people thought of cars as just faster horses,
Okay.
like just a novelty, not a truly revolutionary way to get around.
And I guess that's kind of how we see AI right
A
now.
little bit, yeah.
Like a lot of people just see it as this fun gimmick that can remove backgrounds from photos and do those visual search things.
Yeah.
But it's not like this whole new
Right, but it's like
third eye.
the Model T totally transformed how we got from point A to point B.
Right.
And AI is poised to do the same thing
Mhm.
for how we interact with information online.
So SearchGPT is like the Model T of the internet.
Well, he calls it the final search engine.
Wow.
And he's not the only one who thinks that way.
Okay.
It's not that it's perfect in its current form as we've seen.
Yeah.
It has limitations.
Right.
But it does represent a fundamental change
Mhm.
in how we access information.
Yeah.
It's moving us away from those traditional search engines
Right.
and toward these conversational AI-powered platforms.
And that's a huge shift
It is a huge shift
for content creators.
for anyone who manages a website.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone who's creating content online.
Speaking of content,
Yep.
he had some really interesting observations about how SearchGPT handled specific queries. One was the England versus Samoa rugby match,
Oh, yeah. That was an interesting one.
where Google showed a more recent but irrelevant match.
Right, because it was for a more popular sport.
Right, exactly.
But SearchGPT actually found the right match,
Huh.
even though it was for a less popular sport.
So it's like it understands
Yeah, it's like it understands the context.
the context
Like,
than just the keyword.
Exactly.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then there was the Manchester United versus Chelsea example,
Yeah.
where SearchGPT gave much more detailed broadcast information
Oh, really?
than either Google or Bing.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's like it's not just giving you the basic search results.
Right.
It's trying to give you everything you need.
It's almost like a personal assistant
Yeah, a little bit.
in a way.
Yeah.
And also, it responsibly directed users to the source websites for live scores
Oh, okay.
instead of just displaying what could have been outdated information.
That's smart.
Yeah, so that was really responsible of it.
Um, we've talked about the potential benefits,
Yeah.
but he's also realistic about the shortcomings,
Yeah.
especially in local search and e-commerce,
Right.
which we've already seen some examples of.
Yeah, like
The hallucinating prices
yeah.
and the inconsistencies in the legal query.
Right.
So, it's a good reminder that it's still in its early stages.
Yeah.
And we need to be critical of the information that it gives us.
So what does this mean for everyday users?
Yeah, what can we do?
Like, how should we be adapting
Yeah.
to this changing search landscape?
Well, I think the key takeaway is to be aware of those limitations
Okay.
and not rely on AI search engines as your only source of information.
So always double check.
Yeah, especially when it comes to important stuff like
Mm-hmm.
health, finances, legal matters,
Right.
and be open to exploring different search platforms.
Okay.
Including those powered by AI.
Yeah, so it's like we've got this whole new set of tools
Yeah, exactly.
with different strengths and weaknesses,
Yeah.
and we need to figure out how to use them.
And as those tools evolve,
Yeah.
we need to evolve with them.
This is all pretty revolutionary, but it's also a bit overwhelming.
Yeah, for sure.
If you had to choose one thing
Yeah.
for people to really focus on as they navigate this new world,
Mm,
what would it be?
I would say critical thinking.
Okay.
Just don't blindly accept what you see on your screen,
Right.
whether it's from Google Bing or SearchGPT.
Okay.
Question the source. Consider different viewpoints. Do your own research.
So become a more informed consumer,
Exactly.
regardless of where the information's coming from.
In this age of AI, information is more abundant than ever,
Right.
but it's also more susceptible to manipulation
Yeah.
and distortion.
So we need to be our own fact checkers.
Exactly.
Okay.
AI can be a powerful tool,
Yeah.
but ultimately it's up to us
To use it wisely.
to use it wisely and responsibly.
That's a great point to end on for this part of our deep dive. But don't go anywhere, because in the final part,
Yes.
we're going to be exploring some specific actions you can take
Yes, we will.
to thrive in this evolving search landscape. Okay, so we've spent the last couple segments talking about the rise of SearchGPT and how it could change the way we search for information online. But now let's get practical.
Right. Let's talk about what people can actually do
Yeah, what can our listeners actually do?
to make sure they're not left behind.
Yeah, in this AI-powered world.
Yeah. I think the first thing is to really embrace this idea of moving from ranking to referencing.
Okay.
It's not enough to just focus on showing up high in the search results anymore.
So instead of trying to game the system
Yeah,
and get that top spot on Google,
exactly.
we need to think about how we can become a valuable source of information.
Yeah, the kind of source that SearchGPT is going to want to reference.
Right. So it's almost like flipping the script.
It is.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do we do that?
Well, it starts by asking yourself, what unique insights or expertise can I offer?
Okay, so what makes you
Yeah, what makes you stand out?
stand out?
What makes you the go-to source
Right.
for AI and for human users?
So become a real authority.
Exactly.
Okay.
And, AI can actually be a big help in this process.
Oh, really?
Yeah, tools like ChatGPT can assist with research, brainstorming, and even generating content ideas.
Okay, but we should always be careful
Always fact check.
to fact check and add our own voice.
Yeah, add your own unique voice and perspective.
Okay.
All right, now let's talk about the technical side of SEO.
Okay. Get into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, this is where things can get a little bit more complex.
Okay.
But it's really crucial for making sure that your content can be found by both AI and traditional search engines.
Right, because even the smartest AI can't find what isn't there.
Exactly.
So where do we need to focus our efforts?
Well, structured data is becoming more important than ever.
Okay.
It helps search engines and AI understand what your content is really about. So it's easier for them to categorize it and surface it in relevant searches.
So it's like we're adding those labels and instructions to our content so the AI can be like, oh, okay, this is what this is about.
Yeah, this is who it's for.
Okay.
And then there's schema markup.
Okay, what's that?
So schema markup is a specific kind of structured data
Okay.
that provides even more granular details about your content.
Okay. Like what?
Things like the author publication date, even reviews or ratings.
So it's like giving the AI a blueprint of your content.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
All right, another crucial factor is site speed.
Oh, yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah, AI platforms are all about efficiency.
Uh-huh.
So if your website is slow to load, you're likely to be penalized.
Because no one wants to wait around.
Nobody wants to wait.
Human or AI?
Exactly.
Okay, so what can we do to improve our site speed?
Well, optimizing your images, minimizing redirects, and using a content delivery network can all help.
Okay, good tips.
And don't underestimate the power of good old-fashioned internal linking. It helps both AI and human users navigate your site
Right.
and discover related content.
So it's like we're creating these pathways.
Yeah, like a well-organized library
Okay.
where everything is easy to find.
I like that.
Okay, so we've covered technical SEO,
Yeah.
content creation, and embracing this shift towards referencing.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else that our listeners should keep in mind?
Yeah, I'd say stay curious and be adaptable.
Okay.
This is a landscape that's constantly changing.
Mm-hmm.
So what works today might not work tomorrow.
So we need to always be learning,
Yeah, always be learning.
trying new things, experimenting.
Exactly.
Okay.
And remember, AI isn't the enemy.
Right.
It's a powerful tool.
It can help us.
It can help us connect with new audiences,
Yeah.
create better content, make our online presence even more effective.
So it's all about working with it,
Yeah,
not against it.
exactly.
Okay.
And before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a final thought,
Okay.
something to ponder.
I'm ready. Lay it on me.
Well, we talked about how SearchGPT relies heavily on Bing's index.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think that means for all those websites that have been prioritizing Google optimization and neglecting Bing?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah,
So does that mean that Bing is going to make a comeback?
well, it could.
Wow.
It could even the playing field a little bit.
Yeah.
Give websites that have been overshadowed by Google a chance to shine.
That's exciting.
It is exciting.
Wow. Okay. So much to think about.
Yeah.
As we wrap up this episode,
Yeah.
what's the big takeaway?
I'd say embrace the change, stay curious, and never be afraid to experiment.
Okay.
The future of search is here, and it's powered by AI.
That's right. And who knows, maybe your website will be the next hidden gem that SearchGPT uncovers.
Maybe.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of SearchGPT.
It's been a pleasure exploring this with you.
Yeah, this has been awesome.
Yeah. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible online.
See you later online.